We are back again at the Moorooka skate park. This one seems to be a regular visit for us, and I wish it wasn't sometimes. This is a video on what could go wrong if you don't get professionals to fix your skate park. Firstly, we'll go through it step by step on every little piece and what's wrong with it, why it's important. Firstly, here you can see these two dark colored patches. They're actually used. This one's a run up to the main course, and this one's all your run up to the ramps. For some reason, whenever it gets fixed, people decide that we should leave this blank, let this continue to get rough, but it is actually part of the course, even though it's the entryway. So you've got these obstacles here that have this horribly rough run up leading into ledges, and you're losing speed going downhill here. It is absolute chaos. Every time this has been resurfaced, repaired, whatever, they have never touched this surface. You can see this little corner of the roll-in ramp here. And what they've done is they've got bitumen or tar to sort of smooth this edge out. But they haven't painted over it. They've decided to end the paint here. You can see here there's old paint that they haven't cleaned off. It's really rough, no one smoothed the surface. And there's actually rocks and debris that have been just painted over. Even when they prepped it, they didn't clean the concrete. They painted straight over the dirt. So the dirt's now embedded into the concrete. It's just absolute chaos. This particular line here comes from the downhill roll into the skate park and sort of spreads across the main thing. So what they've done is they've come and painted, and there's a huge crack here. I don't know if you can see this. I'll just try and do it. If you cannot get your feet over, they're huge cracks that wheels will get stuck in. And they're obviously aware of it because they've come along and painted over it, but they've left all these giant holes straight through the middle of the course here. This is a good example of really poor preparation here. So you can see that there was an existing layer of paint underneath. What they've actually done, they haven't peeled it away, they haven't prepped the surface. There's old peeling paint and they've just rolled straight over the top of it with a roller, and you've got this horrible sticky rough surface now all over the skate park. Just to give you an idea too, like these are supposed to be similar to polished concrete, really smooth, really great. This is almost the opposite. It's not an improvement, it's actually made this park substantially worse. If you look here in the middle of the screen, that little round thing is actually a bearing case that is now part of the skate park now that it's been tarred, brushed and painted over. To the left of it, that lump is a lump of tar that's been left behind from them working on this facility and just making an absolute mess of it. This is another unique one. This is a big crack that's been filled or attempted to be filled. You can see quite clearly that there's a little bit of effort to paint over it, but what you can see in the middle of the screen there is a massive hole that they've decided to leave blank that can fit a wheel in it, and just absolutely leave that there for people to get stuck in while rolling on this really rough surface that you can see to the left. This is the quarter pipe here. It's part of a couple. Firstly, we don't recommend white. White can be really glary, and it certainly is right now while I'm looking at it, but also your perception's thrown off. I saw a couple of kids the other day just get pitched from it for no reason, and the coping along the top is meant to always be raw and exposed, and you can see here they've just painted straight over the top of it. No thoughts about how it's used, anything along those lines. It's really, really poor form. If you thought that coping was bad, the layers they've put on the street coping, it is completely unusable. You can kind of see along the edge how thick it is applied, but you know, look at this board. It can barely move. It just sinks into this a really thick paint, and it just has no room to move. And they've done it on every ledge here. I don't know why, I don't know how they got the direction, but it's absolute chaos. This joint at the bottom of the quarter pipe, this is where the quarter pipe comes down and you can get most of your speed across the park. That lip at the bottom there is enough for a wheel to jam. I do not understand how, when you're making a skate park or repairing one and you're going over the entire surface, you would leave massive gaps like this. Just, there's another one over there in the hip. Like the hip also has one, which is just up here. That hip also has one, so if you come and transfer the hip, you're basically going to face dive when you hit the edge. and there's no need for this. You know, it should have been patched, grinded back, filled in, whatever needed to be done. But it's an absolute abomination. This park, it's very old. It's you know, it's really weird for me because I do this all over Australia, and this is my local, and I just do not understand how this could happen to a local of mine. It's an absolute abomination. But there's just so many errors. I can see that there's cracks everywhere. There's, you know, even here, if you look to the right, like, why is the floor two different colors? You know, like, why don't we just make it consistent? There's no thought gone into this at all. They've sent two dudes down with a paintbrush and said go nuts. So the main message here is, too many times we see good intentions just go horribly wrong. You know, skateboarders, scooterers, BMXers, they understand the facility, and governing bodies and consultants and professionals as well. What we are seeing here is this run up you're looking at in front of you is the main point of speed to come across this area, up and down this bank and onto this fun box here. What we've got is they've basically left it as gravel, painted everything else. You lose speed going down it, you know, like there's no thought into the flow of this place. There's no thought into that. The best ledges here are just to the right here. See, this ledge here is great. It's a good height. It's got a bit of curve to come out easy. If you look to the concrete where the red joins on the second panel, you can see a huge lump. But also it's so rough. Like, you come across the skate park through the middle here, and as soon as you hit the ledge, you slow down and then you miss your pop. And then if you finally get onto it, you get jammed on the paint. There is no practicality in what's been done here. And it's really important. I cannot emphasize this enough. The importance of making sure you get professionals to do this. You find out what actually needs to be done properly, and you make sure that you're planning your parks for the future. These aren't cheap to replace. These might have cost 50 grand back in the late 90s, early 2000s. They're up to 600,000 for a facility like this now. We can't have these kind of mistakes happening. I'd say that the cost to fix all this would possibly even be up to the cost of replacing it. It's really unfortunate. I wouldn't run a lesson here. I wouldn't put my kids on this park. What's happened here is really sad. And we're putting this video out to make sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else. So hopefully, if you see this video and your council's planning some works, or you can see stuff going on, have a really good think about it, who you're getting, you know, check some of the previous jobs they've done, right? Check with the community, go down and look at which direction they're flowing, look at which parts of the park they're using. It's really important, or we're gonna end up with really sad situations like this. I hope this is helpful, and we'll get this out to you guys. And you're welcome to email us or give us a call if you have any questions.